I've been a Star Wars fan for a while. I was probably raised to watch Star Wars. Hell, my first words were probably even, I love George Lucas. So you could say the hype around this series was pretty high for me. Probably more than The Rise of Skywalker. Especially now that it has Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen coming back, and especially now that Hayden Christensen is playing Darth Vader himself. So yeah, I would say that I was pretty excited, and probably every Star Wars fan, and probably anyone would be excited to see those two back on screen for the first time since 2005. So when the show first dropped, it came out with 2 episodes right off the bat, and it was pretty smart on their part, at least for me, because the first episode didn't quite pull me in as much as I wanted to, but the second one definitely left you on the cliffhanger by showing Hayden Christensen in a back-to-tank as Darth Vader to tease Darth Vader's appearance in the next episode, and it definitely caught my attention, and I was definitely excited to see what would come next. So I do think it was a smart move to release the first 2 episodes on the first day, and I would say the series started off strong too, just by giving me everything that I wanted to see. It showed Obi-Wan working his normal 9 to 5 on Tatooine. He worked at a fish market wrapping sushi, and I thought that was pretty neat. And I especially like every time that Obi-Wan would sneak a little piece of sushi home with him to give to his little alien camel, because you gotta look out for your pets. And I also think that the introduction to the Inquisitors was also pretty well done. They definitely grew on me, especially the Grand Inquisitor. I think that they touched him up a little bit in post-production, but I think he looked fine. Right, and then after that, after we get all the Inquisitors bullying the people of Tatooine, then we get the introduction to little Leia, who then gets kidnapped by Flea, and then Bail Organa then asks the help of Obi-Wan to go and save her. And then Obi-Wan answers Bail Organa's call for help, and he thinks, the Inquisitors are on Tatooine, they're picking on Owen Lars, the pretty much parent of Luke Skywalker, the person I was sent here to watch over, and he thinks, you know what, maybe I should leave, and defying orders from Master Yoda. But you know what, it would be pretty boring if we were just sitting here watching Obi-Wan watch Luke, so it is what it is. So Obi-Wan's off to find Leia, and you know, this isn't the first rescue mission he's done. He finds her pretty easily, and so they're trying to escape. They get backed into a corner, Leia gets caught again, and then Vader shows up. So then Obi-Wan and Vader fight. Vader gets back at Obi-Wan, and he ends up burning him. And yeah, that pretty much ends the first 3 episodes. Obi-Wan's burned, Leia's gone again, and now Obi-Wan has to go get her again. Oh, and I forgot to say, something weird kind of happened, but after Darth Vader burns Obi-Wan to a crisp, he's kind of just laying there, you know, he can't do much. A robot comes and then just slowly starts pulling Obi-Wan away from the commotion with Vader, and Vader just sits there and watches. He's just like, he doesn't really do anything, and then he just lets Obi-Wan get away. I thought that was kind of weird, but yeah, I thought I would just throw that in there too. Why? Yeah, that's where the first 3 episodes end, and so I was obviously looking forward to episode 4 to see where that picks up on. And I think a big disappointment was that when I went to click on the episode, it said it was 38 minutes, and I don't know why, but I thought that one of the high-ups at Lucasfilm said there was going to be a 6-hour-long episode limited season. But I guess now they're making like another sequel season or something similar. But yeah, I thought that was kind of weird that it was pretty much a 30-minute episode for a limited season. But anyways, the episode opened up with Obi-Wan in obvious pain because he just got burnt, and he's getting hauled off to a back-to-tank, which starts actually a pretty cool sequence where when he's in the back-to-tank, it kind of flashes between him and Vader having very similar things. Like it has a pan down his arm, which then fades into Obi-Wan's arm, and I thought it was actually looked pretty cool. And then we get into a very kind of long and a little annoying scene sequence of Reva and Leia. There's like an interrogation scene, and I guess I'll just talk about Reva while we're here. Those of you who don't know, this actress who's playing Reva is getting actually personally attacked everywhere just because she's reading a script and playing a character in a TV show on Disney Plus. It literally doesn't make any sense. You don't know this person. Why are you throwing so much hate towards her way? I do think you have every right to criticize a character in a movie based on how it's getting developed, even though we haven't seen the whole thing yet. But there's no reason you should be actually throwing hate towards this actress just because she's getting paid to read a script and play a character. It doesn't make any sense to me. That being said, I don't necessarily like the character of Reva so far. This is just based off of the first 4 episodes. Obviously, there's 2 more left. I haven't seen the whole thing. I just don't like her character so far. Like, I don't really understand what the creators were going for, because there's a lot of villains to choose from. There was even the Grand Inquisitor they could have made. Why did they have to bring in another character? And I would say that the reason I don't necessarily like that character is because for villains, I'm much more of like a show me, don't tell me, like Darth Vader, who you could just see and like him. Or there's Thrawn, who's like super composed, and I really like that too, because although they don't do much or say much, you can tell that they're pretty scary. And those are more of the villains that I'm into. I'm not really into somebody who's trying to overcompensate almost, but that's just my opinion. But I'm excited to see where her character goes in the next 2 episodes. But yeah, going back to the original thing, the interrogation between Reva and Leia goes on a little too long, and it's a little boring, and I kind of just wanted more Kenobi, but yeah, it was just kind of boring. Then, after that, Obi-Wan wakes up from his back nap, and he needs help to break into the fortress of Inquisitorius? I forgot what it is, and I'm too lazy to look it up, but he needs to break into the fortress to save Leia. So who does he go and look for? Ice Cube's son. That's right, Ice Cube's kid came out of nowhere and hit the 3-pointer for the win. And what I really like about this whole sequence is that it actually happened really fast. So they came up with the whole plan to break into the fortress, and then they kind of just went on the ship and then left, and then they arrived at the fortress. So I really like the pacing, and it definitely felt like it deserved to be in a show that the episode is only 30 minutes long. So yeah, it was nice that they just got on with it. But yes, we couldn't have the boring stuff for too long. Now we're back at the fortress with the fun stuff, because Reva is still interrogating Leia. Yes, that's right, this is still going on, and this isn't even like the half of it. We still have a little bit more of this, but yeah, this is still going on, and just please give me more Kenobi. We're back, and Kenobi and his little infiltration team arrived to the fortress, but they need a way in. So luckily he's got a spy on his side, so she dresses up in her commanding clothes, or general, or I don't know the rankings in the Empire, but she just kind of strolls right through the fortress, walks right by everyone. Not really a problem, and then she arrives to security. They kind of just let her through without a problem. Very weird that the Empire, the like most scary people in the galaxy that like everyone's afraid of, kind of just don't care about anything, and they seem really dumb. Yeah, I didn't really like this depiction of them, but yeah, they're through. And now that the spy has broken through, she now is able to go and easily unlock all the doors to just let anyone through. So she's able to signal Kenobi, who swims right next to everything and just gets right under like a back door and then crawls his way through. And then he just walks in without any worry, because there's no security in the whole fortress. So yeah, Kenobi's in now. Let's go. And then, once again, it cuts to a scene with Reva interrogating Leia for the 10th time and for like half the show so far. But maybe this is the way to do it. I don't know. Maybe the interrogation scenes are the way to go. But yeah, we're back to this. That might have been the last interrogation scene. I don't know. I'm kind of just going along with... I'm just kind of watching the video as I'm going. I didn't make a list. I should have made a list, but I think that was the last one. But now we're back to the man, Obi-Wan. And he's sneaking around the fortress of Inquisitorius, and he stumbles upon this room that's full of people inside of this sap-looking stuff that looked to be Jedi to me, and it catches him off guard. It caught me off guard. It was pretty intriguing, a little confused, and some of them looked a little silly, but it was cool. Then, all of a sudden, Obi-Wan tells the spy, the lady who went in there, first, to distract Reva from interrogating Leia anymore. Crazy stuff. And she goes in there and she does it. Absolutely meta style. Even she knew that Reva was interrogating too much. So she put an end to that real quick. Then, as the distraction's going down, Obi-Wan breaks free from the chamber of the Jedi into the interrogation room and breaks Leia free stealth style. He does it actually in a pretty cool way. I actually really like the setup of this fight, and he takes him out one by one in the chamber. But then once Reva found out, she obviously left, but the spy was still there with a few stormtroopers surrounding her, so she did what any sensible person would do in that moment, and she started slapping some stormtroopers upside the head. At this point, full chaos is going on. Leia and Obi-Wan are just trying to get out of the fortress of whatever they're in. I'm sure Reva and all the other Inquisitors are chasing after them, along with every single stormtrooper. And then the spy is just trying to meet up with them to help them escape and make sure they're okay. The part about all this commotion is, though, that once Obi-Wan and Leia get free of the interrogation chamber, they're kind of just able to just stroam the halls for now. Like, you'd think for a fortress there'd be a lot of security, there'd be a lot of stormtroopers just wandering around, but they kind of just walk away. Of course, though, at some point they do get caught, and Obi-Wan has to sink the place like the Titanic, and that gives him enough time to break free and kind of escape for now. And after Obi-Wan floods the halls with water, the spy finds them and meets up with them, because apparently the spy is faster than Reva. I don't know, but then once the spy finds them, good thing she has this oversized raincoat, because then Leia is able to hide underneath it like the little rascals, and then it helps. They disguise, and then they just walk through. You know, I'll give this one a pass, no matter how silly and a little odd it is. I mean, just put your mind in a writer's position here, and he just thinks, you know what, raincoat, big raincoat will solve this problem. You got me this time.
Almost there.
You know, and raincoat aside, they kind of just stroll past everyone. And you'd think somebody would recognize Obi-Wan. He even walks past the fifth brother. Nobody recognizes him, so I mean, raincoat works. But then after all of that, after they think that they've made it in the clear, Reva comes out of nowhere again, and she catches them again, but then she loses them again. I think it's because of the A-Wings that come out that are working for Ice Cube's kid. I think they give them enough distraction to let them get away, and then put Reva in the dust. So then after all of this, Vader shows up to the fortress, and learning that Reva let them go, even though Vader let Obi-Wan go just the episode before, but that doesn't matter, I guess, he starts to force choke Reva, and he's threatening her life, but then she says, "Hey, I might know where they're going, baby." And he's like, "Oh, we should have started by saying that." And then he let her go, and then everything seems to be good, and then we're back to square one. They're trying to find him again. So yeah, the writing for the show seems a little bizarre. Seems a little, I don't know, not thought out. Because, like, well, first of all, there's still no Grand Inquisitor. What's up with that? And then second of all, nothing has really happened. Like, Leia gets caught, Obi-Wan saves her. Leia gets caught, like, right after that, Obi-Wan saves her. And now they're free, and now apparently Obi-Wan and Vader still have to fight again, so that means he gets captured again. Yeah, I'm just a little confused. I mean, I'm still excited for the next two episodes, don't get me wrong. I'm just a little confused. And I don't know, maybe that's like the point of this video. I didn't really feel like making a video on the past episodes because, I mean, they like made sense and it was just kind of following along for nostalgia, but now we're getting to the point where it's like things should start happening. Like things should start picking up. We're past the halfway point. We're at episode 4 and nothing has really happened. The episode was just 30 minutes of interrogating and raincoat nonsense. But I don't know. If you're going to make it silly, at least push it a little bit more. Add maybe more raincoat things. Maybe add some lines like "I hate sand." I don't know. Maybe throw in Quinlan Voss.